that's the great thing about your show is that you're talking to everybody who like, you're like we're saying, like they get to come on your show and really let their hair down or really let, you know, like I work in this corporate ass environment. This is what happened, blah, 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 you know, giving all this fucking like cheeseman, right? And that's great. That's what we love, right? Because we're at the job, right? We're like, oh, okay, you got it, Mr. Smith, you know? But, you know, we got that inner Latino in us. We're like, man, I'm going to go home and tell my boys what the fuck this motherfucker said.
Exactly, man. Yo, it's such a simple thing, you know, such a simple question is like, yo, Pabel, what'd you do this weekend? And, you know, if a coworker would ask me, I was like, oh, you wouldn't believe it. I went to this amazing brunch down in Soho, had this delicious French toast. Oh my God, you should definitely try it. Or like, oh yeah, I tried yoga for the first time. Nothing against yoga. I actually done yoga, but I would just say things like what I would say is legit shit that I just heard other white coworkers say. For example, like, like there were times where I literally assigned myself homework on the weekends, right? So like instead of watching a show like Insecure or like a show that like I would enjoy, I would be like, oh, what are my white coworkers listening to or what? Oh, they're watching Riverdale. I saw like 3 seasons of Riverdale.
Water cooler shit.
Exactly. Yeah, or like I would legit listen to like Bruce Springsteen on the weekends instead of listening to Jay-Z or Bad Bunny, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I wanted to fit in. Because what people don't realize is like at these companies, like everyone has like the same level of skills, you know what I mean? Like we know Excel and all these things. What really gets you to go above and beyond is really the relationships that you build with people. And like, I need to get invited to that dinner. I need to get invited to a beer with the executives. And the only way to do that is to like feel like you're one of them. Right. You often hear women talking about it where they'll watch Sports Center just to like join in on conversations with dudes. But yeah, I mean, what I really did is crazy because there's nothing illegal. It's just like I never saw someone in an executive role at the companies that I worked at doing the same things that I was into. So what did I do on the weekends? Really, what I told my boys, like, yeah, I went out dancing. I went to a club, like twerking everywhere, little bottle popping. Yeah, right. But like the people that I saw bottle popping were like rappers, you know what I mean? Right. Like I've been trained to believe that wasn't professional. So there's so many stories, man. But those are like, that's like the basis of what it is, man. The
thing about business, the corporate environment is that it's not just like you said, it's just not about your skills, man. Like I wish it was, right? Just about, because especially if there's a black and brown person at a corporate place, not only do you know that they have the skills to be qualified, they're probably overqualified in that position. Let's be real, right? To get in that position, they're the Barack Obama of their block, right? Like they are perfect. And you know, probably some of the white people are mediocre. But then you got to be friends. They got to like you. They got to want to hang out with you after working hours, and that means having things in common. So if I'm like, you know, who do you know? I like you said, Bruce Springsteen. Oh, who do you like? Well, you know, I'm into the new Future album. I'm like, well, we're not going to hang out with him after work, you know? He's going to bring his posse, you know? You know what I mean? So you got to play down your roots, like where you're from, what you're about, and be successful. That's crazy, man. That's racism, right? In a nutshell.
I mean, there were some racist things that were said to me or that are said to people. Oh, yeah. Because like one thing is when you build up the courage to be yourself, right? And then the other part is like, all right, once you do that, like, how does that experience go, right? Because I've told people like, I went to this place uptown New York City, which is, you know, it's not downtown New York, but people be like, oh my God, are you go to those type of places? Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like that was unnecessary. Or like I gave somebody, I sent so unnecessary. Or like I sent somebody my PowerPoint deck and they were like, oh, Pabel, can you fix this slide? It looks a little ghetto. Like word, that's the choice of words that you chose. Yeah. You know what I mean? And people think it's just as easy as being like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna tell people who I am and that's it. Like, nah, we get hit with microaggressions, yo.